Agent Rico Vance had been working at the Galactic Safety Commission for 3 years, which was approximately 2 years and 11 months longer than any human should have to deal with bureaucratic nonsense on an intergalactic scale. The coffee was terrible, her office had no windows, and her primary job responsibility was updating a database that nobody read, specifically the Galactic Predator Registry, a comprehensive list of every species in the known galaxy that might potentially eat, maim, or otherwise inconvenience another species. It was, without question, the most boring job in the universe. The registry had been maintained for over 400 years and contained exactly 10,047 entries. Each entry included threat assessments, dietary habits, hunting strategies, and a handy color-coded danger rating that ranged from mildly irritating to evacuate the sector immediately. Rico had spent most of her employment filing updates like Species 4072 now hunts in packs of 6 instead of 5, and Species 8934 has developed a taste for fermented grains and becomes aggressive when intoxicated. Thrilling stuff. It was a Tuesday, or at least the galactic equivalent of Tuesday, which was somehow even more depressing than actual Tuesday. Rico was halfway through her second cup of awful coffee when she noticed something odd in the database. She'd been cross-referencing species origins with their threat classifications, mostly because she'd already finished her actual work and had 6 hours left in her shift, when she realized something was missing. Humans weren't in the registry. She checked again. Then she checked a third time using a different search parameter. Nothing. Homo sapiens, humanity, Earthlings, those weird bipedal apes from Sol 3, whatever you wanted to call them, they simply weren't listed. And that was, to put it mildly, extremely weird. Every species that had achieved spaceflight and joined the Galactic Council was supposed to be assessed and classified within their first year of membership. Humans had been members for 47 years. Rico dug deeper, which was either admirable dedication or a sign that she desperately needed a hobby. She found the original survey request, filed shortly after first contact. She found the acknowledgement that a xenobiology team had been dispatched to Earth. She found the team's expense reports, for crying out loud, including a apparently controversial lunch that cost 800 credits. What she did not find was the actual assessment report. After an hour of searching, she finally located a message buried in an archived email chain from 2197. It was from survey team leader Blurtamax, and it read, "Will file Earth assessment upon return to station." There was no follow-up message. Blorthomax, according to a quick search, had retired 14 years ago and was currently living on a beach planet somewhere in the Andromeda sector, presumably not filing paperwork. So humanity had slipped through the cracks. They'd been puttering around the galaxy for nearly 5 decades, attending council meetings and establishing trade routes and doing all the normal spacefaring civilization stuff, and nobody had bothered to officially determine whether they were dangerous or not. This was, Rico realized with growing horror, about to become her problem. She could just file the paperwork herself. Quick assessment, low threat rating, done and done. Humans were friendly, right? They made decent neighbors. Sure, they had a weird obsession with caffeinated beverages and their music was objectively too loud, but they weren't dangerous. Except the registry didn't work like that. Any species classified as a predator, even a minor one, required a full committee review, and humans were definitely predators. Rico had teeth designed for tearing meat, binocular vision for tracking prey, and her ancestors had literally chased antelope until they died of exhaustion, which was somehow both impressive and deeply concerning. She looked at the classification requirements again. Forward-facing eyes. Check. Pursuit hunting capability. Check. Omnivorous diet including regular meat consumption. Check. Evidence of coordinated pack hunting in species history. Check. Check and check. Humans weren't just predators. By the registry's standards, they were apex predators. This was going to require a committee. Rico sent the request form with a growing sense of dread. Within an hour, she received a response, scheduling a classification hearing for the following week. The committee would consist of Chairman Blorp from Rigel 7, Dr. Kriebel from the Mantoid Collective, and Ambassador Glurp from the Gastropod Alliance. Rico had met all 3 of them before. This was going to be a disaster. She finished her coffee, which had gone cold and somehow tasted even worse than usual, and stared at her computer screen. The Galactic Predator Registry, with its 10,047 entries, would soon have one more. And somehow, Rico suspected that humanity's entry was going to be more complicated than most. The hearing room smelled like anxiety and industrial cleaning solution, which Rico supposed was better than some of the alternative smells possible when dealing with alien biology. Chairman Blorp had already arrived and was nervously hovering near the head of the table, his translucent jellyfish-like body pulsing with bioluminescent stress patterns. Every few seconds, he'd secrete a small glob of glowing mucus that his assistant had to quickly wipe away. "Agent Vance," he said, his voice coming through the universal translator with a wet, bubbling quality. "I have reviewed the preliminary file on your species. This is, if I may say, highly irregular." "You may say," Rico replied, settling into her chair. "And yeah, it's irregular. Somebody forgot to file paperwork 47 years ago. Now here we are." Dr. Kriebel skittered in next, her 6 legs clicking against the floor in a rhythm that Rico had learned meant irritation. The insectoid scientist's compound eyes reflected the light in unsettling ways, and her mandibles clicked as she spoke. "I have prepared a comprehensive analysis. The data is deeply troubling." "We haven't even started yet," Rico pointed out. I read ahead. "I am troubled preemptively." Ambassador Glurp oozed through the doorway last, leaving a faint slime trail that the cleaning crew was definitely not paid enough to deal with. The slug-like diplomat was obsessed with proper protocol, which meant every meeting with him took approximately 3 times longer than necessary. "I hereby call this classification hearing to order, as per Galactic Safety Commission Regulation 47B, subsection 12, paragraph—" Yes, it's called to order," Chairman Blorp interrupted, secreting more nervous mucus. "Let us proceed with the human assessment. Agent Vance, you are here as the species representative?" "Lucky me," Rico said. "Let's get this over with." Dr. Kriebel pulled up a holographic display. "I shall begin with the physical assessment. Humans possess forward-facing eyes with overlapping fields of vision indicating a predatory evolutionary path. Your visual acuity is designed for tracking prey across distances. We also use it for reading and watching cat videos, but sure," Rico said. "What is a cat video?" "We'll get to that. Continue." "Your species exhibits persistence hunting capabilities." Dr. Kriebel's mandibles clicked faster, a sign of agitation. "Your ancestors would pursue prey animals for hours, sometimes days, until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. This is one of the most terrifying hunting strategies in the known galaxy." Chairman Blorp secured a particularly large glob of mucus. "Days? You would chase something for days?" "Well, yeah," Rico said. "We're really good at sweating. Most animals overheat when they run too much, but humans just keep going. It's kind of our thing." "Your thing is being an unstoppable pursuit predator?" Ambassador Glurp's eye stalks retracted slightly. "When you put it like that, it sounds way more dramatic than it is." Dr. Kriebel continued, "Your dentition includes prominent canines for tearing flesh. Your digestive system processes both plant and animal matter, indicating opportunistic predation. Your species has a documented history of pack hunting, with coordinated tactics and communication." "Okay, yes, but we also invented agriculture and pizza, so there's balance." "What is pizza?" "Breed with toppings. Often includes meat from multiple species. Sometimes we put small fish on it. The tiny ones. Anchovies." Chairman Blorp's bioluminescence flickered. "You stack meat from multiple prey species on bread and consume it as a leisure food? Is that a problem?" "It suggests an excess of predatory success." Dr. Kriebel's voice rose an octave. "You have so many prey options that you combine them for entertainment." Ambassador Glurp consulted his datapad. "This is most irregular. Let me review the standard classifications. We have ambush predators, pursuit predators, pack hunters, opportunistic hunters." "Humans check all those boxes," Dr. Kriebel interrupted. "They can hunt alone, or in groups. They use tools and weapons. They can sprint short distances or run for hours. They can track prey by sight, sound, or scent. They are, by every measurable standard, apex predators." The room fell silent except for the sound of Chairman Blorp's mucus production, which had increased significantly. "Okay, look," Rico said, trying to sound reasonable. "Yes, humans evolved as predators, but we're civilized now. We have laws and ethics in grocery stores. Most humans go their entire lives without hunting anything more dangerous than a good parking spot." "But you could hunt," Dr. Kriebel insisted. "The capability remains." "I mean, technically yes, but—" "And you maintain these abilities through recreational activities?" Ambassador Glurp was scrolling through something on his pad. "I see references to marathons and ultra-marathons. These are competitions to see who can pursue prey the longest?" "No, they're just running races. For fun. No prey involved." "You practice persistence hunting for entertainment." When you say it like that. And this activity called hiking? Dr. Kriebel leaned forward. Walking long distances through wilderness terrain while carrying supplies? That's just, enjoying nature. It is mobility training for extended pursuit hunts. Chairman Blorp was now actively dripping luminescent mucus. I believe we need to classify humans as a significant predatory threat, Category 7 at minimum. Category 7 is for species that have driven other predators to extinction through competition, Ambassador Glurp noted. Rico shifted uncomfortably. About that, there may have been some megafauna extinctions that coincided with human migration patterns? The mucus production intensified. But that was thousands of years ago. We have environmental protection laws now. We're trying to save species, not hunt them to extinction. Dr. Kriebel pulled up another file. I have been reviewing Earth's historical records, as per standard protocol. Agent Vance, I have questions about your species' relationship with other predators. Okay. It says here that humans domesticated wolves. Wolves are apex predators in their own right. Oh, you mean dogs? Yeah, dogs are great. You domesticated rival apex predators and turned them into companions? Well, when you put it like that, it sounds weird, but... How is that not weird? Chairman Blorp's voice cracked. That is objectively weird. Rico was beginning to suspect this hearing was not going well. Dr. Kriebel's compound eyes seemed to whirl with a mixture of fascination and horror as she zoomed in on a specific section of Earth's biological database. I need clarification on this domestication matter. You took wolves, which your own records indicate were competing predators that occasionally attacked human settlements, and you turned them into pets? It was more of a mutual partnership at first, Rico said. They helped us hunt, we gave them food scraps. Eventually we bred them to be friendlier, now they're dogs. People love dogs. You genetically modified a predator species to suit your preferences? Ambassador Glurp's eye stalks extended fully in alarm. I mean, we call it selective breeding, but sure. Chairman Blorp had given up trying to control his mucus secretions. His assistant was now just holding a bucket underneath him. And these dogs, they live in your homes, with your offspring? Yeah, they're family members. Kids grow up with dogs, it's wholesome. Wholesome? Dr. Kriebel repeated, her mandibles clicking in a pattern that Rico was pretty sure meant disbelief. You let apex predators cohabitate with your most vulnerable young as a bonding activity? Dogs aren't dangerous. Well, most dogs. Okay, some dogs can be dangerous, but we train them. You can train an apex predator? Chairman Blorp looked like he might evaporate entirely. Sure. Sit, stay, roll over, fetch, basic stuff. The three committee members exchanged glances. Well, Blorp and Glurp exchanged glances. Dr. Kriebel's compound eyes made it unclear what she was looking at, but Rico got the distinct impression she was being judged. Let me see if I understand correctly, Ambassador Glurp said slowly, consulting his notes. Humans encountered a rival predator species, and instead of competing for territory or resources, you decided to make friends with them and bring them into your homes? That's a very reductive summary, but yes. Dr. Kriebel was scrolling rapidly through files now, her legs moving in agitation. This cannot be an isolated incident. Let me check for other examples of human domestication. She paused, her mandibles stopped clicking. Oh no. What? Chairman Blurp asked, though his tone suggested he didn't actually want to know. Cats. What is a cat? According to this, cats are obligate carnivores, small predators that humans allowed to live in their settlements to control pest populations, except, and I am reading this correctly, correct me if I am wrong, Agent Vance, the cats were never fully domesticated? Rico winced. Cats are semi-domesticated. They kind of do their own thing. Everyone did their own thing, Dr. Kriebel repeated. You invited predators into your homes and allowed them to remain partially wild. Look, cat people will tell you that's part of the charm. The charm? Dr. Kriebel's voice hit a pitch that made the translator crackle. You find it charming that they retain predatory independence? They're cute, they purr. Have you seen a cat video? They're adorable. He made his expression. They are carnivores. Small carnivores. House cats weigh like 10 pounds. And yet you permit them near your young, your food, your sleeping quarters. Cats are perfectly safe. Mostly. I mean, they might scratch you if you pet them wrong, but that's just part of having a cat. Chairman Blorp's bioluminescence was now strobing erratically. You are telling me that humans voluntarily cohabitate with predators that might attack them, and you consider this normal behavior? You're making it sound way worse than it is. Ambassador Glurp had been quietly scrolling through his datapad, and the way his body had gone rigid suggested he'd found something concerning. Agent Vance, I have a question. What is a tarantula? Oh no. What is a tarantula, Agent Vance? It's a spider. A big spider. Some people keep them as pets. Dr. Kriebel made a sound that the translator rendered as error 404. Context not found. You keep arachnids as pets? Voluntarily? Some people find them interesting. Hello, Amy, heart venomous. Only mildly. And most species are pretty docile, you just have to handle them carefully. Handle them? Chairman Blorp's voice had gone up 3 octaves. You touch them with your appendages? Well, yeah, how else would you handle a spider? Ambassador Glurp was scrolling faster now, his slime trail intensifying. It gets worse. Snakes. Various species, many venomous, kept in glass enclosures in human homes, fed live or frozen prey items. Some species large enough to be dangerous to humans themselves. Okay, but snake people are responsible pet owners. They follow safety protocols. Safety protocols, Dr. Kriebel said flatly. You require safety protocols for your leisure companions. When you phrase it that way, how else should I phrase it? You are describing a pattern of behavior in which humans deliberately seek out predatory or venomous species and bring them into close proximity. This is not normal behavior, Agent Vance. Rico was starting to sweat, which probably wasn't helping her case, given that they'd already established sweating as a terrifying adaptation. Look, people have all kinds of pets. Dogs, cats, birds, fish, hamsters, guinea pigs. What is a guinea pig? Chairman Blurp asked hesitantly. It's a rodent, completely harmless, very cute, makes squeaky noises. Finally, a reasonable pet choice. Though some people do keep rats, which are also rodents but smarter, and some people think they're creepy. Why would you keep a pest species as a pet? They're intelligent and social, and speaking of intelligence, some people keep octopi in aquariums. Dr. Kriebel's mandibles started clicking so fast they created a humming sound. Octopi, cephalopods, tool-using invertebrates with problem-solving capabilities that rival some sentient species. You imprison intelligent beings in glass boxes for your amusement. We prefer to call them aquariums, and it's more about appreciation than imprisonment. I have found a reference to piranha ownership, Ambassador Glurp announced, his voice faint. Predatory fish with powerful jaws, kept in home aquariums. Those are actually illegal in a lot of places. But not all places. Well, no, some places allow them with permits. Chairman Blorp produced so much mucus that his assistant had to empty the bucket. Permits! You have official government permits for keeping predatory fish. And reptiles. And in some cases, big cats. The room went silent. Define big cats, Dr. Kriebel said carefully. Like, you know. Lions, tigers. Though that's mostly illegal now. Mostly. There are some private owners and sanctuaries. Lions? Chairman Blorp's bioluminescence exploded in a pattern that probably meant something very specific in his species' language, but the translator just rendered as screaming. And tigers, Rico added helpfully, then immediately regretted it. Ambassador Glurp said, his voice unnervingly calm. Are you telling this committee that members of your species keep apex predators, large enough to kill a human, as private pets? Not pets. More like, companions? Or conservation efforts? Do they live in cages? Enclosures. We call them enclosures. Dr. Kriebel stood up, all 6 legs trembling. I need a moment. This is too much information. We haven't even gotten to Australia yet, Rico muttered. What is Australia? Rico closed her eyes. This was going to be a long hearing. Alfredo is a continent, Rico began, and immediately regretted her decision to bring it up. It's an island, technically. Large island. About 7.5 million square kilometers of... We understand basic geography, Dr. Kriebel interrupted, having returned to her seat but still visibly agitated. What is relevant about this Australia? Well, it's where a lot of the really dangerous wildlife ended up. Evolutionarily speaking, it's kind of a hot spot for things that can kill you. Chairman Blorp's mucus production had slowed to a steady drip, which Rico chose to interpret as progress. Define dangerous wildlife. Okay, so there are spiders. Not tarantulas, different spiders. Like funnel web spiders, which have venom that can kill a human in 15 minutes if untreated. And humans evacuated this continent? No, we live there. About 26 million people. You live alongside 15-minute death spiders? We have antivenom, and most people don't encounter them that often. There are also snakes. The inland taipan has the most toxic venom of any land snake on Earth. Then there are saltwater crocodiles, which can grow up to 7 meters long and will absolutely eat a person if given the opportunity. Box jellyfish, which are so venomous that their sting can cause cardiac arrest. Blue-ringed octopuses, which carry enough venom to kill 26 adults. Stonefish that blend in with rocks and have venomous spines. Oh, and cassowaries. What is a cassowary? A bird, about 2 meters tall, has a crest on its head and claws that can disembowel you. They're considered the most dangerous bird on Earth. Dr. Kriebela's mandibles had stopped clicking entirely, which was somehow more concerning than when they were clicking rapidly. And the human response to living on a continent filled with lethal fauna was what, exactly? We call it home, make jokes about it. There are memes. Memes? Cultural jokes shared through images and text. Australians are pretty casual about the whole deadly wildlife thing. It's part of the national identity. Ambassador Glurp's eye stalks had retracted so far into his body that he looked like a slug-shaped puddle with a voice. Let me understand this. Humans encountered an environment so hostile that it contains multiple species capable of killing humans with ease, and your response was to develop a sense of humor about it? Pretty much, yeah. Chairman Blorp whispered something to his assistant, who scurried out of the room. I am requesting medical support. I do not feel well. There are also drop bears, but those are just a joke we tell tourists, Rico added. Although regular koalas can be pretty aggressive if you bother them, and they have chlamydia. I do not want to know what chlamydia is. Probably for the best. Dr. Kriebel pulled up a new file, her movements slow and deliberate, like someone approaching a container that might explode. I am now going to review the complete list of documented human pet ownership. Agent Vance, I will read species names. You will confirm whether humans keep them as pets. Understood? This is going to take a while, isn't it? Ferrets. Yeah, those are pets. They're like long cats, very playful. Ferrets are mustelids, carnivorous mammals. Small carnivorous mammals. Iguanas. Yep. Herbivores, though, so that's less concerning, right? They grow to 2 meters in length and have powerful tails. But they eat plants. Monitor lizards. Some people keep those, yeah. Komodo dragons. Only in zoos. Officially, they're endangered, so there are conservation programs. Conservation programs where you keep 3-meter-long venomous lizards in controlled environments for breeding purposes? We're trying to save them from extinction. By imprisoning them. By protecting them. There's a difference. Ambassador Glurp had recovered enough to rejoin the conversation. I have a question about birds. You mentioned cassowaries. What about other bird species? Do humans keep birds as pets? Oh yeah, tons of birds. Parrots, cockatiels, parakeets, canaries, finches. Parrots can live for decades and bond with their owners, Dr. Kriebel read from her file. Some species have the intelligence of a human toddler and can learn to speak human languages. While they mimic speech, I don't know if they understand it fully. You keep intelligent, long-lived beings in cages for companionship? We prefer to say they live in cages, not that we keep them there. And responsible owners let them out for exercise and enrichment. Chairman Blorp's assistant returned with what looked like medical equipment, but Blorp waved him away. I will persevere. Agent Vance, let me ask a direct question. Is there any predatory, venomous, dangerous, or otherwise threatening species that humans have not attempted to domesticate, befriend, or keep in captivity? Rico thought about it. Mosquitoes? What is a mosquito? Small flying insects that bite humans and drink blood. They spread diseases like malaria and dengue fever. Kill about 700,000 humans per year. The room went very quiet. 700,000? Ambassador Glurp's voice was barely a whisper. Give or take. They're the deadliest animal on Earth if you measure by human deaths. And you have not befriended them? No, we actively try to eliminate them. They're pests. Dr. Kriebel leaned forward. So, to clarify, humans will attempt to befriend apex predators, venomous reptiles, and dangerous wildlife. But the species you have designated as your enemy is a small insect? An insect that kills more humans annually than any other animal, yes. This makes no sense. Look, mosquitoes aren't cute. You can't train them or bond with them. They just bite you and give you diseases. There's no upside. But a tiger, which could kill and eat you, that has an upside. Tigers are majestic and soft-looking. People want to pet them. People want to pet apex predators? Well, yeah. Haven't you ever seen something dangerous and thought, I wonder what that feels like? All three committee members shook their heads, or performed their species equivalent of shaking their heads. Described a normal impulse, Dr. Kriebel said firmly. It's pretty normal for humans. There are entire tourist industries built around petting dangerous animals. Shark cage diving, swimming with dolphins. Dolphins are predators? Intelligent predators, with complex social structures and documented cases of aggressive behavior. But they're also playful and curious, so people love them. Ambassador Glurp had pulled up something new on his pad, and his slime trail was now creating a small puddle. Agent Vance, it says here that humans engage in recreational activities with large predatory animals, bull riding. What is bull riding? Rico had known this was coming, but that didn't make it any easier. It's a sport. You get on a bull, which is a large bovine animal, and you try to stay on while it tries to throw you off. You antagonize a large animal for entertainment. It's not antagonizing, it's, competitive. The bull is trying to injure you. Well, yes, but that's part of the sport. You invented a sport where the objective is to not be injured by an angry animal? When you put it that way, it sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous, Chairman Blorp's bioluminescence flared. What is wrong with your species? We also have rodeos with horses, and there's this thing called running of the bulls in Spain where people run through the streets while bulls chase them. On purpose. Yeah, it's a tradition. Dr. Kriebel stood up again, her legs clicking in a frantic pattern. I need you to explain something to me, Agent Vance. Your species forms emotional bonds with predatory animals. You keep dangerous fauna as companions. You live in environments filled with lethal wildlife. You engage in recreational activities that involve antagonizing large animals. And through all of this, you maintain a casual attitude that borders on reckless disregard for your own safety. Why? Rico considered the question. Because they're cool? Mine are cool. Dr. Kriebel repeated slowly. Yeah, like objectively cool. Wolves are pack hunters with complex social structures. Cats are graceful and independent. Snakes are fascinating. Spiders are incredible engineers. Sharks are apex predators that have barely evolved in millions of years because they're already perfect. Why wouldn't we want to be around them? Because they could kill you. So could a lot of things. Cars kill way more people than sharks, but we still drive cars. The silence that followed was profound and deeply uncomfortable. Finally, Ambassador Glurp spoke. This hearing is going to take longer than I anticipated. I am calling a recess. The committee reconvened after what the translator called a recess, but what Rico suspected was more accurately described as an existential crisis. Chairman Blurp had changed his mucus collection bucket twice. Dr. Kriebel's compound eyes had developed a noticeable twitch. Ambassador Glurp had left a slime trail to the bathroom and back that looked like a map of his emotional breakdown. We have a problem, Chairman Blorp announced, his voice wavering. Agent Vance, we have reviewed humanity's file in its entirety. We have consulted the Galactic Predator Registry's classification system, and we have concluded that humans do not fit into any existing category. Is that bad? Every species fits into a category, Agent Vance. That is the purpose of categories. Dr. Kriebel pulled up the holographic display showing the registry's classification system. We have 9 standard predator categories. Ambush predators, pursuit predators, pack hunters, opportunistic feeders, apex predators, persistence hunters, tool-using predators, venomous species, and cooperative hunters. Humans qualify for all 9 categories. That seems like a lot. It is unprecedented. No other species in the registry scores positive on more than 4 categories. So we're overachievers? You are a statistical anomaly that breaks our entire system. Dr. Kriebel's mandibles clicked rapidly. And that is before we factor in the domestication behavior. There is no classification for apex predator that befriends other apex predators. That is not supposed to be possible. Ambassador Glurp consulted his notes. I propose we create a new classification. Category 10, Apex Predator with Domestication Tendencies. That sounds too friendly, Dr. Kriebel objected. It should be Category 10, Apex Predator Unpredictable Behavior Approaches Other Predators with Intent to Befriend. Too wordy, Chairman Blorp said. Category 10, Friendly Apex Predator. Oh. Friendly Apex Predator is a contradiction in terms. And yet here we are. Blorp's bioluminescence flared. Nothing about humans makes sense. They should not exist. Evolution does not produce apex predators that domesticate rivals. It produces competition, territorial disputes, extinction events, not friendship. Rico raised her hand. Can I say something? No, all three committee members said simultaneously. I am going to speak anyway. Look, humans are social creatures. We evolved in groups. We survived because we cooperated. So yeah, we extended that cooperation to other species. It's not that weird. It is extremely weird, Dr. Creeple said flatly. We should classify them as a galactic-level threat, Ambassador Glurp said suddenly. Threat level 9. Apex predator species with unpredictable behavior patterns and a documented tendency to approach dangerous fauna. That would cause panic across 47 systems, Chairman Blorp protested. We cannot simply declare humans a threat when they have been peaceful members of the Galactic Council for decades. They have been unclassified members, Glurp corrected. Now that we are classifying them properly, other species deserve to know what they are dealing with. What we are dealing with, Rico interjected, is a species that likes animals. That's it. We're not going to eat you or hunt you or domesticate you. You cannot guarantee that, Dr. Creeble said. I absolutely can guarantee that. Can you, though? What if a human encounters a species they find cute or interesting? What then? We would probably ask to pet it, not domesticate it. That is not reassuring. Chairman Blorp held up a translucent appendage. Enough. We need to reach a decision. I propose a compromise. We classify humans as Category 10, apex predator with anomalous social behavior, threat level moderate, with warnings. What kind of warnings? Ambassador Glurp asked. Warning. Do not provoke. Warning. Possesses domesticated apex predators. Warning. Approaches dangerous fauna with intent to befriend. Warning. Unpredictable behavior patterns. That is 4 warnings, Dr. Creeble noted. Yes, because humans require 4 warnings. Rico sighed. Can we maybe tone down the drama? How about friendly apex predator, do not provoke? It is contradictory, Glurp said. Designed specifically to betray. So are humans, Blork replied. It fits. All in favor? 3 appendages, 1 pseudopod, and 6 legs rose in agreement. Motion carries, Chairman Blorp announced. Humans are hereby classified as Category 10, friendly apex predator, threat level moderate, with advisory warnings. He paused. Agent Vance, for the record, how many humans currently own exotic or dangerous pets? Define exotic. Any species that could reasonably be considered dangerous, venomous, or predatory. Rico pulled out her datapad. Roughly 78 million households have dogs, which are domesticated wolves. 94 million have cats. Then you have reptile owners, exotic bird owners, people with aquariums containing predatory fish. Approximate total? Maybe 150 million households, give or take? The committee stared at her. Out of how many total households? On Earth? About 2 billion. So roughly 7.5% of human households actively keep predatory animals as companions? Sounds about right. Chairman Blorp turned to his assistant. Add that to the file. Notable statistic. 7.5% of human population cohabitates with predators by choice. Can we add that it's perfectly safe? Rico asked. No, all 3 committee members said in unison. The classification is final, Ambassador Glurp announced. Humans are officially registered. This hearing is adjourned. Rico stood up, gathering her things. So that's it? I'm officially a friendly apex predator? You and your entire species, Dr. Creeble confirmed. Try not to domesticate anyone on your way out. 3 hours later, Rico was back at her desk, staring at the freshly updated Galactic Predator Registry. Entry number 10,048 now read, Species, Homo sapiens, humans. Classification, Category 10, friendly apex predator. Threat level, moderate. Warning, approach with caution and snacks. May attempt to befriend or domesticate. Do not provoke. Possesses unpredictable social behaviors. The snacks part had been Chairman Blorp's addition. Apparently, he'd read somewhere that humans were more agreeable when fed, which was both accurate and slightly insulting. Rico leaned back in her chair, a satisfied smile crossing her face. After 47 years, humanity finally had an official classification. Sure, it made them sound like dangerous weirdos with boundary issues, but it was honest. And honestly, humans were kind of dangerous weirdos with boundary issues when it came to animals. Her computer pinged with a new message. She opened it, expecting some follow-up paperwork about the hearing. Instead, it was from the Galactic Council's complaint department. "Oh no," Rico muttered. The message was from Ambassador Vrax of the Kaltorian Empire, and it was marked urgent. She clicked it open. "Agent Vance, we have a situation. 3 human tourists visited Kaltor 5 last week. They have been attempting to pet and befriend our sacred war beasts. The war beasts are confused. Our temple guards are confused. The humans keep offering them treats and asking if they're good boys. This is a diplomatic incident. Please advise." Attached was a video file. Against her better judgment, Rico opened it. The footage showed 3 humans, clearly tourists based on their matching I Heart Kaltor 5 t-shirts, surrounding a massive reptilian creature that looked like a cross between a crocodile and a tank. The creature was the size of a small shuttle and had fangs that could puncture steel. It was currently sitting on its haunches while one of the humans scratched behind what might have been its ears. "Who's a good war beast?" the human was cooing. "You are. Yes, you are." The war beast's tail was wagging. Rico closed the video and put her head in her hands. Her computer pinged again, another message from the complaint department. This one was from the Arachnid Collective, asking why human tourists kept trying to take photos with their security drones, which were essentially giant spiders with weapons. Then another ping. The Cetacean Federation wanted to know why humans kept jumping into the water during diplomatic events to swim with the ambassadors. Ping. The Ursine Concordat report that human visitors had organized an unauthorized bear hug exchange program. Ping, ping, ping. Rico took a long drink of her terrible coffee and pulled up her response template. This was going to be a long day. A long year, probably. She typed, "To all concerned parties, please refer to humanity's updated Galactic Predator Registry entry, Category 10, which should explain the behavior you are witnessing. Humans are classified as friendly apex predators, with anomalous social behaviors. This includes attempting to befriend other species, particularly those they find interesting or cute. We recommend providing clear boundaries and, if necessary, snacks. Humans respond well to snacks. For further questions, please contact the Galactic Safety Commission. Best regards, Agent Rico Vance." She hit send and leaned back, watching her inbox explode with new complaints. Her apartment was a 30-minute commute away, where her cat Mr. Whiskers was probably destroying her couch cushions. Mr. Whiskers was a 15-pound tabby with an attitude problem and a taste for expensive furniture. He was also, technically, a predator that Rico had voluntarily invited into her home. She looked at the Galactic Predator Registry entry again. Category 10. Friendly apex predator. Warning. May attempt to befriend or domesticate. "Yeah," Rico said to her empty office. "That sounds about right." Her computer pinged one more time. She opened the message. "Agent Vance, this is Chairman Blorp. I have been thinking about our hearing today. I have a question, purely hypothetical. If a Rigelian jellyfish creature were to visit Earth, and if that creature were to express interest in seeing these cat videos you mentioned, would that be possible? Asking for a colleague." "Definitely not for me, thank you." Rico grinned and started typing her response. Humans might be apex predators with weird social habits and a tendency to befriend things that could kill them, but at least they were consistent about it, and apparently, judging by Chairman Blorp's message, that tendency might be contagious. She attached a link to a compilation of cats falling off furniture and hit send. The galaxy, Rico decided, was about to get a lot more interesting.